The little bookstore smelled of old paper and secrets. Sunbeams danced on dusty shelves. Cozy armchairs beckoned like warm hugs. It was a haven for bookworms, a place where time stood still. Ethan, lost in thought, browsed the history section. His fingers trailed along spines, searching for a hidden gem. He inhaled the scent of aged paper, a familiar comfort. Lena across the aisle hummed softly, her eyes scanning the poetry collection. Her fingers delicately touched each book, a silent conversation with words. Their paths almost crossed, a near miss in the labyrinth of literature. They were two souls on parallel tracks, unaware of the other's presence. Days turned into weeks. Each visit to the bookstore a silent pilgrimage. Ethan found himself drawn to the literature section, hoping for another glimpse of the girl with the melodic hum. He'd catch a flash of her floral dress, the scent of her lavender perfume, but never a full view. It was like chasing a whisper, a figment of his imagination. Lena, oblivious to Ethan's longing glances, found solace in the familiar aisles. The bookstore was her sanctuary, a place where she could lose herself in stories. One afternoon their hands reached for the same book, fingers brushing for a fleeting moment. They looked up, startled, eyes meeting across the dusty pages. A jolt of electricity ran through Ethan. Her eyes, the color of warm honey, held a spark of recognition. He felt a sudden urge to speak, to break the silence between them. Lena, surprised by the encounter, felt a blush creep up her cheeks. His eyes, a deep ocean blue, seemed to see right through her. The moment stretched, filled only with the soft rustle of turning pages and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee from the corner cafe. But before either could speak, a loud crash of thunder shook the building, shattering the fragile connection. The sky outside darkened, mirroring the sudden shift in the atmosphere. Rain lashed against the windows, blurring the street outside. Ethan, his heart pounding, searched for Lena in the sudden gloom. He found her by the window, her face a mixture of awe and apprehension as she watched the storm unfold. He wanted to go to her, to say something, anything, to bridge the distance the storm had created, but words failed him, leaving him frozen in place. Lena, sensing his gaze, turned her head. Their eyes met again, a silent acknowledgement of the storm raging both outside and within their hearts. As if on cue, the lights flickered and died, plunging the bookstore into darkness. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the startled customers. Ethan, his concern overriding his shyness, moved towards Lena. He found her standing by the window, a beacon in the sudden darkness. "Are you all right?" he asked, his voice a calming presence in the sudden chaos. Lena, startled by his appearance, nodded, her heart pounding. "Yes, I'm fine, just a bit surprised." He smiled, a dimple appearing on his cheek. "Me too, it seems we're both stuck here for a while." The rain showed no sign of abating. The bookstore owner, a kindly old man, offered what few umbrellas he had to stranded customers. Ethan, noticing Lena didn't have one, offered his. "Here?" he said, extending the umbrella towards her. "It's big enough for two." Lena hesitated, then accepted, a grateful smile gracing her lips. "Thank you," she murmured, their fingers brushing as she took the umbrella. They stepped out into the rain, the rhythmic drumming of water against canvas a comforting melody. The streetlights cast a warm glow, reflecting in the puddles beneath their feet. They walked in comfortable silence, the shared umbrella a small haven in the storm. Ethan, glancing at Lena, noticed the way the raindrops glistened in her hair. "I've seen you here before," he confessed, his voice barely audible above the sound of the rain. In the literature section, Lena's eyes widened in surprise. "Me? You have? I hadn't noticed." He chuckled, a self-deprecating sound. "I'm not surprised. I tend to blend in." She smiled, shaking her head. "Not at all. You're hard to miss." They reached the corner where their paths diverged. The rain had softened to a gentle drizzle, the clouds parting to reveal a sliver of moon. "This is me," Lena said, her voice laced with disappointment. She hadn't realized how much she enjoyed their impromptu walk, their shared moment in the rain. Ethan, feeling the same pang of regret, wanted to prolong their time together. "Perhaps we could continue this conversation another time," he asked, hope tinging his voice. Lena's face brightened. "I'd like that very much," he smiled, his heart lighter than it had been in weeks. "How about tomorrow? Same time, same place, rain or shine." The next day, the sun shone brightly, casting a warm glow on the familiar street. Ethan, a bouquet of sunflowers in hand, waited anxiously outside the bookstore. He spotted Lena approaching from across the street, her eyes searching. When she saw him, a smile bloomed on her face, as bright as the sunflowers he held. Their fingers intertwined as they stepped into the bookstore, the scent of old books and new beginnings filling the air. Their story, once a whisper in a crowded room, was ready to be written.